Today was the live letter where we get to know about the new job actions. But the live letter was not all about that. We also got some interesting news. Because of the amount of content coming in this live letter and how different that content is, I am actually gonna split this up into different videos. So this video will be focused on the overall news given during the live letter, including news on the DDOS attacks, the benchmark, Fantasia changes, and some real-life promotions. So let's start with the DDoS attacks that have been plaguing us for the past few days. As somebody playing on Chaos, we have had a really bad time during this, including a time where I had good 12 to 15 hours where I could not log onto my main character without traveling over to another data center, which I will admit was very frustrating. When talking about the attack, yoshi-p believes this is the largest scale and longest attack we have encountered since the start of the game. Square Enix does have a talented infrastructure team which is working very hard on protecting us right now, and they are basically working 24/7 with teams swapping out to try to prevent the game from going down. Sadly, there are still disconnects happening, and they do apologize for that. But at least so far there has been no major damage, and they will keep on doing their best to protect us from these attacks. They do note that they are very thankful for the encouraging comments they've been getting on social media, telling them to hang in there through this very tough time. So keep on doing that. It's good to keep the team spirit up while this is going on. Then on to benchmark things. They have gotten a lot of feedback from the first benchmark, and they've spent some time reviewing the feedback and working on addressing the issues they can. The first one, of course, being updating the lighting system in the character creator. We were shown some updated pictures of that, and I gotta say, the lighting looks so much better, and it's just really funny to see how drastic of a change that does. Because the Mikote in this picture has had no changes to their model. It is all the lighting. But they're not just working on the lighting changes, but also making changes to the models based on our feedback. And surprisingly, many of those are teeth changes. Those changes do include things like the Keeper of the Moonfangs and the Lalafell teeth shape. But at the moment, the goal is to release the updated benchmark around May 31st, though they can't make any promises, so we'll get a better announcement a little bit later on when they get a fixed date. But any updates they're making for the benchmark are of course coming in the game as well. And as they've stated previously, even after the benchmark comes out, they will still be working on some updates. Now with the changes to our characters though, there is the question about Fantasia. The goal is always that everybody is happy with their character, and they've decided to add a new quest in the game to make this work much more smoothly. So at the release of Dawntrail, there will be a quest giver Nulda, which has a quest that rewards Fantasia. This will be a pretty low level quest, and will be a good way to introduce what Fantasia does to new players. They will also be adding a new characteristic to Fantasia. The idea is that when you use a Fantasia, a 60-minute timer will start. Apparently this will be an in-game timer, so it does pause when you're not logged on. And in those 60 minutes you can go back into the character creator as often as you need. Just make note, the timer does not reset if you go back into the character creator. It is always gonna be those 60 minutes from the initial use. But hopefully this will allow people to go into the game and then make some minor changes if they realize something didn't quite come out as they wanted. Now we are getting very close to Dawntrail, and with that comes the media tour. And in the media tour there will be 2 characters being shown off, so they wanted to introduce them to us here in the live letter. These are Bakul Jaja and Koana. Each of these characters are part of the race to the throne for their own reason, and they are not on our team. Bakul Jaja is a 2-headed Mamulja, just like the current leader, though he is not royalty, but he is participating in the race to the throne, so I guess we can assume this is gonna be one of our main rivals. The other is Koana. He looks like a Mikote, but is not necessarily called that. as the races might have different names in Tural. But he is also part of the race to the throne, though for his own reason. But these characters will be introduced more in the media event. Now, some real-life stuff. For the US, there is a Mountain Dew team-up. So apparently you can find codes under the caps of specially marked Mountain Dew bottles. For these codes you get points, which you can then trade in for special items, including the Mountain Dew mount, which is just an amazing name. They are opening the pre-order for new store merch, including a Loperid plushie, which will also give you the stuffed Loperid in-game item, which looks very cute, a translucent Asim crystal keychain, and 3 types of cable clips. These are magnetic, making them easy to adjust and remove, and they come in 3 varieties, those being the main scenario icon, Alpha, and Amugul. There is also an update to the Immersive Game Pack, which is the 3D Spatial Audio Pack add-on for PC. You can buy this, but there is also a 30-day free trial, and because of the major update, everyone can now have a 30-day free trial, no matter if they used it before or not. Then for Japan players, there will be a Primal concert on September 21st and 22nd in Yokohama Arena. If you have a Japanese Square Enix account, you can opt in for the lottery till May 23rd. And also in Japan, the KFC event is coming back. So if you did not get your chicken bucket the first time around, you can go try to get it now. Finally, we got to see an updated version of the calendar. We are getting very close to release, but that did include that on May 23rd, the Fall Guys collaboration event will be returning. That event has some nice rewards, and if you didn't get to take part in it the first time around, you should definitely try it now. I found it really fun, and even though I'm not sure there is a lot of items I want, I am definitely gonna play a few games just for the fun of it. But that were the news. So tell me, what are you most interested in? I am kinda excited for the Fantasia update. I think the 60-minute timer is gonna be really handy, especially for people like me who tend to go into a game and then realize there's like one thing that needs to be adjusted, and then either we have to make an entire new character or buy a new Fantasia. But let's talk about your thoughts down in the comments, and while you're down there, maybe throw me a commentation by liking and subscribing. And in the end, all I wanna say is takk fyrir að horfa og eigðu yndislegan dag.